Welcome back to JMC Live. I am your host, Jeremy Caverley. We are interviewing exclusively James S. Hodges, pastor and author of the book, War of the Horizon. I will show it to everyone in the wonderful world here. It is a sci-fi, suspense, fiction story that will make you think kind of the way things are currently working today. And the mysteries of God and man collide. The War of the Horizon is an epic story that examines the constant battle between faith and fear, the known and the unknown. Clay Silver is a chaplain of the West Earth Navy who is constantly reminded of his unique childhood experience during a thunderstorm and the tragic loss of his wife. Becky Banks is a famous news reporter assigned to West Earth, the ship Morning Star, that becomes the center of this conflict. She is occasionally plagued by a strange and terrifying nightmare that affects her perspective on life. Both Clay and Becky cross paths in a world of intense uncertainty, especially when mysterious objects fall from the sky, attacking both the east and western sides of the earth. Written in a clear and concise manner, author James Hodges explores his debut novel and the mysteries of life in ways you never imagined. A combination of suspense, captivating twists, and inspiration. You'll want to read this again and again. James Hodges is a full-time pastor and pioneer of biblical counseling and studies. He lives in Breedsville, North Carolina with his wife Barbara. And I want to take it right over to you, James. Can you tell us more about your book, your inspiration for it, and we'll just start from there. What made you want to write this book, James?
Well, Jeremy, I tell you, it's a lot could be said, but the inspiration, first of all, is about the center character of the story, Clay Silver, whose name is symbolic, by the way, of as I do want to mention this while it's on my mind about how I came about the name Clay Silver. And Clay Silver represents a Christian in general. We are the clay, God is the potter, as the Bible talks about, and that represents our humanity. And silver, where I get the last name, that is a metal, a precious metal in the Word of God that represents redemption and salvation. And put it both together, we're humanity but redeemed by the grace of God. But the story about the many things that involve the sky and all this, the title War of the Horizon. The word horizon takes on different meanings inside the story itself. The horizon of the line that divides between the known and the unknown, and usually tragedies and circumstances in life actually gives us a bad perspective, and we fear the unknown. And that horizon, that war of the horizon, represents the war that's in ourselves, that's constantly within ourselves, and there's some various different things of inspiration that some own personal life experiences that happens in my own life that I apply in some of the characters, especially Clay Silver. And I've always been fascinated with thunderstorms and those kind of things. But I took this, the different kinds of chaos that happens. And as you know, today in Haiti and around the world, people are just in a lot of fear, and rightfully so, because of the tragedies. And where is God in all this? And you're going to find in War of the Horizon in the book that there's a choice of how we can respond to those tragedies. Some of us are going to get bitter, and some of us are going to get better. And then are we going to look to God? How are we going to handle that perspective? And so much I can say, but that Psalm 19 mentions.
And I noticed that every
it's amazing
chapter,
how it all parallels with that.
every chapter has a verse from Psalm 19, and it turns out that there are 14 verses in Psalm 19. So that wasn't by accident either, was it?
Well, that was not originally planned.
Mm-hmm.
That was while I was writing this book, and I first started getting the first or second chapter and going along and writing this. People would ask me, knowing my wife would ask me this and all, how many chapters do you think it's going to be? And I would say, well, it's probably going to be maybe 12, maybe 15, maybe so and so. I just give out these random numbers. And Psalm 19 took on a big significance in the story, as people who read the book will find out. And I did not originally put a verse of Psalm 19 in front of each chapter until it just so happened around when I was winding down on writing the book, and that it just so happened that the story was in 14 chapters. And then something hit me, and I was thinking, wait a minute, isn't that the same amount of verses that's in Psalm 19? And so I went back and put a verse in order, like chapter 1 has verse 1, chapter 2 has verse 2 of Psalm 19. And it's sort of one of those good, surreal kind of feelings. But I guess that was not by design at the beginning, but I will not call it an accident. I think God was in it. I really believe that.
We can take a quick break and come back, and
All right, we're going to take one break here, and then I'm going to ask you this question, James, and we'll think about it when you get back. We're actually going to start going more into the different characters of the book.
I would, if it would be okay, I'd like to read the first paragraph of the book, because it's just fascinating how the book just opens up. It just captivates you in the very first paragraph, and it just makes you want to, what in the world is going to happen next?
All right, well, you want to read the paragraph, and then we'll take a break? I think you have time for that.
Yeah. It says, storm clouds portrayed a fierce darkness across the sky as he stood in an open field. He was fully aware of the potential danger from the sudden bolts of lightning that preceded the majestic sounds of thunder. But there was something different about this storm, one that he had never experienced in the brief existence of his youth. Never had he witnessed lightning with what appeared to be words imprinted within some of the bolts. Swift streaks that seemed to freeze long enough to make the words known. Maybe this was normal during storms, he thought, but he had never been outside this long during one to experience it. We'll be right back.